Hey guys, and welcome to episode 130 of the Upper LA podcast. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Tim McGavick, Tyler Sotolsky.
Hey guys.
And Adam Franey.
Groovy, man. Groovy.
Let's run down some of the topics we're going to discuss on this week's episode. As usual, we're going to talk about the last film we watched this week, as well as a couple of news topics. We got some The Shining sequel.
Ooh.
We got this little film called The Cure trailer we're going to discuss.
Ooh.
As well as we got a new Clue film in development announced, starring Ryan Reynolds. So we're going to talk about those in a sec. As well, if you do like our video, leave a like.
Yeah.
Leave a comment below in the comment section. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please do.
Tim.
Yes.
Let's start us off this week. What do you got for us as your last scene?
Netflix film.
Oh.
Super Dark Times. This was on...
Some kids get into some trouble, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, never heard of it. Stuckman had this on his also rans for 2017's Great Films. Super Dark Times, written by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski, directed by Kevin Phillips, starring Owen Campbell, Charlie Tan, and Elizabeth Cappuccino, and also
Cappuccino, you say?
Cappuccino. Cappuccino, literally Cappuccino.
C-U-P-P.
And introducing Max Talisman in his first role. So the friendship of two high schoolers is tested after a traumatic event drives them apart. Who has seen
Super Dark?
Super Dark Times. Super Dark. Takes place in the 90s, and as a kid of the 90s, very accurate. Lots of like got 90s references.
Got some...
No, that was like early 2000s. Oh, this is like straight, like they were teenagers in the 90s.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A little bit before my time, I guess. But pretty accurate. Who has seen Mean Creek? Really?
Mean Creek?
Mean Creek.
Never heard of it.
Rory Culkin and Drake from Jake and Drake.
Drake?
The bigger dude.
Drake?
No, do you know the show Jake and Drake?
No.
Drake and Josh?
Oh God, yes.
Josh, Drake and Jake?
Josh, the bigger kid.
Shake and Bake?
He's in it. So apparently, I liken that to it because there's a kid that's murdered. That
spoiler.
It happens in the first 20 minutes. That's the setup. It's like this kid is murdered or maimed, who knows? And
murdered and maimed?
These two friends are like covering for each other, and from there's some dramatic fallout from what happens.
It seems like it's hard to discuss this film without revealing.
Yes, the first 20 minutes is the setup where like these two friends are out with some other friends, and something bad happens to one of them, and they end up having to cover for each other. And from there, you spread into like a kind of like a love story that goes off with some of them. It becomes kind of like a love triangle at one point quickly. This director is his first big movie, I guess. He's done some music videos and stuff before. Really good movie.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Really, really solid thriller from Netflix. Great performances. I thought the guys were all great. There's pretty much 3 or 4 main actors, I guess, in it, and they're all fantastic. The one kid who's supposed to be super annoying is very annoying, and I hate him. But you're kind of supposed to hate him. You're like, and then the other 2 kids are like the main actors. I'm like, I know these guys from high school. Like I've talked to these people before. Like it's that kind of thing where I'm like,
these people exist out there.
Yes, you guys exist. I know exactly what you guys are like.
Is this a Netflix original? Or is it just Netflix just picked it up?
I think it's a Netflix. I don't know if a Netflix original per se, but I think they might be distributing it. Right. I don't know if they actually produced it, but they are distributing it because it's not. It's a
smaller film, so.
Oh, it's very small.
Netflix seemed to be a platform that these smaller films.
Which is great because you get these awesome performances from these really young actors. I think the only guy who's done stuff before is Scott Taman. Charlie Tan. Sorry, Taman. Charlie Tan played a kid actor previously in some other movies. He's excellent. The director, I can't wait till you see what else he does with a bigger budget, because what he does with like a pretty small budget, it's just a very tense, very tight thriller. The end is a little bit over the top, I think is where my stars get deducted. It's kind of like
classic star deduction. Yeah.
What's that movie we saw recently with the artist? He's a painter and his family moves into the haunted house.
Yeah. Devil's Candy.
Yes, you know how that
Haunted
climax
Mansion.
is a very kind of over dramatic climax. Similar idea where like there's one very odd choice that a character makes. I'm like, I don't buy into that leap at all.
A lot of movies do that.
Yeah,
Non-viable character leap.
Yeah, it's a very big leap. I'm like, okay, I kind of see where this might go, and then something happens. I'm like, okay, no, I don't believe.
Like they jump from point A to point D.
Yes,
Like
very
in
big
Logic?
lot. Yes, yeah, very very big jump between like he's behaving a certain way, and then all of a sudden he's doing something. I'm like, no, that makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Because he's a werewolf or like something like, some like crazy.
There's
thing.
no logic in this
Right.
gap. I'm like, no, sorry. But besides that, everything else was like really tight, really well directed, really well acted.
Interesting.
Probably like a heavy 3, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
solid little thriller.
Yeah, because that climax is very, very over the top. If you guys do see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
I gotta see it.
But for like a Netflix, like low budgets, very much, it's good.
It's a decent,
Very
just
fine.
scrolling through Netflix trying to find something.
Yeah, I was like looking for something. I was like,
Sunday
okay.
afternoon
Yeah,
watch.
I heard it was good. Not bad.
Cool.
Not bad.
Well, Tyler, buddy, what do you
I
got?
regret it, but what do you got, bud?
I'm terrified.
No, you guys are going
Do
to
you have a movie?
I do have a movie.
Well, that's always a good sign.
I have a
folks.
movie.
You followed the very basic rule.
I'm just waiting for my description.
Have you seen it before?
No.
Ooh, plus.
We're on fire, people.
Give me a second. I'm just going to click on it again because it...
I'll stall for you.
Yeah.
So,
Where did you guys grow up? Please discuss.
Scrub, bro.
ever see House?
I watched a full season of House.
Interesting.
How about them local sports teams, eh?
It does
Quite
not
sporting.
Oh my God, Tyler.
to load. Adam stall for me.
For the fans, we had 2 hours before we started recording for him to do whatever he's doing right now.
And it was there, but then that does that thing where IMDb disappears and then
I got a
poof
porg
back up.
mug.
Should I mention
Just
I've had,
Google it. Man.
should I mention that I've had several beers?
Yeah.
Oh, it's playing the trailer now.
Oh my God.
This has gone off the rails. It was a fun final episode.
It won't stop.
I've had like 6 beers today. I'm sorry.
Tim, Jesus.
Turn it off.
Come on,
Turn it
man.
off.
Scott,
Turn
cut
it
the
off.
cameras. This is
Let's just redo.
Turn it off.
Okay, Tyler, just tell us the
Turn it
title.
off.
Okay.
Just
I can tell you
A
what
mother
it was about.
Yeah.
challenges local authorities.
Mother.
No.
Ebbing.
When they are
Alright.
unable to
There we
catch her daughter's murderer.
Finally. Thank you, you saw it.
How is that so hard?
3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Start playing the trailer.
Holy shit.
3 billboards.
Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Who stars in it?
Thank God you
This
saw it.
is
Give me at least one name.
Sam Rockwell.
Yep. He's sporting. Who
Yeah.
else?
No, but he's the best. Okay. Sam Rockwell,
Yeah.
you got Woody Harrelson,
Yeah.
you've got Frances McDormand,
You got
you've
it.
got
Oh,
fucking...
Oscar nominees.
That's fine.
That's okay, I was going to cry for one more.
No, that's
No, it's okay?
You're done.
Okay.
Directed
Thank
by.
God.
That was
Hedges.
stressful.
Directed
Okay,
by.
So I
Um,
saw.
Directed by.
Martin McDonough.
Yeah, I was going to say there's an S in there, but there wasn't.
No.
Okay.
Written by.
Martin McDonough.
There you go.
Trick question. Got him.
What'd you think? We saw it at TIFF.
You got him.
You guys saw it at TIFF?
At the famous Benedict Cumberbatch, Michael Shannon.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Francis
Like-
McDormand viewing.
Everything.
Oh,
She was there too?
Martin McDonough
Yeah.
viewing.
Oh, yeah.
Rockwell was there.
Marty McDonough was there.
Marty.
So yeah, I finally saw this movie.
Yeah.
It was on my most anticipated list.
It's
and
winning a bunch of awards.
winning a bunch of awards, including Best Supporting Actor for
Several times.
my boy,
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
And
And Woody Harrelson. Up for an Oscar.
and Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson up for an Oscar, that's right.
We're gonna
Yeah.
Frances McDormand's winning.
Yeah.
and
Man,
she's-
so everyone's just winning. I only paid attention to the Sam Rockwell bit.
Best picture.
Best director.
Best.
Not
no,
Best Director.
Oh,
Not
Mario.
Best Director.
Yeah, sorry.
Best original screenplay.
Yeah.
I was upset.
We're gonna talk about that
But we'll-
in our
we'll
Oscar
discuss that.
episode.
Yeah. Watch this. Peter Dinklage, he's also in it.
Petey Dinks.
I watched this, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Spoiler.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
So good.
So many cringe moments where you're just like, don't say that. Don't do that. Like,
Francis.
don't. I'm not going to
do
say
it
that,
like
but
that.
just so many things that she do where you're like, just don't ever do that. That's a terrible idea.
Politically incorrect.
And she says so many things that I'm like, are you allowed to show
Straight to
this?
the core.
Like,
How about that priest in the kitchens?
your soul cringes. Like,
Get eviscerated.
like if I could say like give this like one description, it'd be like soul worthiness,
Culpable.
cringe. Culpable. Like you're like it's just so well done. Like it's just so fucked.
Yeah.
Is it perfect in every way?
It is perfect in every way.
Now, question.
Yes.
Adam
Yeah.
liked it a lot. Did not love it.
Did not love it. Interesting.
5 bangs for both me and Scotty here.
Yes. Interesting. Interesting. It's a 5.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to
If
do.
I had a microphone right now, I'd drop it.
You drop it.
Yeah.
I did rewatch
Your boy,
it. It's very good.
Sammy Rocks.
Sam Rockwell. I gotta talk about him for a minute
One might
because
say-
Quite the
Go.
character arc.
I also
His-
rewatched it.
I saw it with Scott. He went and saw it for a second time.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double 5.
You see, like I watched, like I saw the trailer. I was like, okay, like I see, like he's gonna be having a probably good character in this movie.
Yeah.
But then like you don't actually see what he does, and like so when you watch the movie, you see the ridiculous character arc that he goes through, and it's just mind blowing. Like you see him like do like a complete turnaround, and it's the coolest thing ever.
No.
People are raging.
People are raging. Oh,
Because-
who's raging?
I won't say who, but
No, who's raging?
people are angry
People-
that
he
he's
doesn't
winning
know.
awards because he's a very racist
Piece of
character.
shit.
Have you heard this?
I have not. I think that is.
He's a piece of shit in the movie, but his arc,
He's an actor
yes,
doing his job.
that's okay.
Get over
You can
yourself.
play a Nazi in a movie and still get nominated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
He's great in it.
like-
He's
he was
so
amazing.
good.
He's a like the character is a shitbag.
Yeah.
But he did such a good job of
Yes, you don't
portraying
do-
that
yes,
shitbag.
Thank you.
So, fuck you to whoever's saying that.
Heath Ledger, Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Played
douchebag.
a
Yeah.
psychopath murderer.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Back-to-back
Love it.
supporting actors were
Love it.
villains.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine.
Like he's fantastic. You guys are fucked.
Yeah.
There's one scene in particular which I was dying laughing at many scenes, but one and just stuck in my
I
mind.
think I know.
It's very knowing who I am. It's very easy to pick
Yeah.
which scene it is. Tim, I know you know right away.
I have it narrowed between two, but
Okay.
I'm going to assume it's the one where he's in the police office.
Listening to music,
Listening to music.
and he's just sitting there, and like she's like throwing fire bombs
Yeah.
at this place.
Yeah.
Like she's like literally like I'm like you sit there and you're like don't do this, whatever
Yeah,
you're about to do,
yeah.
don't do it. And you see her just fucking Molotov cocktail the fucking local police station, and so she's just going ham on it. And he's just got his headphones in, listening to ABBA, and I'm just sitting there losing my
course.
fucking mind.
Yeah.
Your dream.
I've got Sam Rockwell listening to ABBA in possibly one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen.
Yes.
Like this is my wet dream.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And so he's just like you see like the fire, like they do like a pan out, and you see him just like reading this letter, and you see the fire just getting bigger and bigger behind him. Like the entire place is almost like engulfed in flames. He's like having this moment while he's listening to ABBA. Oh my god, it was so amazing.
I have to ask,
Yeah.
had you seen this before your top 10,
This is somehow going to be in my top 10.
Yes.
will it be number 1?
I don't know. Possibly.
What was your number one?
Atomic Blonde.
It's much better than Atomic Blonde. It's so much better.
I mean,
It's a personal list. You guys can't say that.
Atomic Blonde is like
It's a personal
4.
list.
This is a
3,
5.
3.5.
It's a personal
I like
list.
Atomic Blonde.
I love
That's up to my heart. You
Yeah,
guys can't say
That's
this.
fair. That's fair.
But yeah, it's probably going to be up there in my top 5,
What do you
top
think about
3.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson's character went in a direction I did not expect it to go.
Fair. Yeah.
Like I did not
Yeah.
see the whole turmoil with him. Like I
Yeah.
did not expect that to happen
No.
when it did. And then when his character does something that's pretty drastic, I did not expect that either.
No, me neither.
That really took me by
I
surprise.
remember our audience was pretty shocked, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, after viewing. Yeah.
And like as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have no idea how the movie is
Yeah.
going to go
Like
now.
based on the trailer, when that scene happened, I was like, I was already surprised by the movie a lot.
Mhm.
But when that happened, I was like, I'm just gonna like let loose and like not expect anything
because this could go in any direction now. The kid who ever played Red, like the kid who played like the signage kid, like the advertising kid, loved him.
Caleb Landry Jones.
Caleb Landry Jones. Yes, I thought he was fantastic.
He's great.
Yeah,
I mentioned it during my review.
Yeah.
The one take or single shot of Sam Rockwell going up to his ad agency.
Yeah, and beating the shit out of him.
I started laughing so hard the second time when I saw him walking across the street. I'm like,
he's like strutting across the street.
This is gonna go down.
Yeah, he's the best.
He like kicks in the door.
He's almost like Ace Venturing it across the street.
He just like breaks the...
Yeah, like it was just so well done.
Yeah.
But they had a great moment later in the movie.
They did.
In the hospital.
Yeah.
The scene where they're together and he gives him the orange juice.
Yeah.
Great.
And there's also a certain scene with the father, like the ex-husband, that I did not expect.
Am I bumping this movie up a bit?
This movie is amazing.
To a 6?
No, it's a 5, but I had it number 4 on my list. Is it 3rd?
Is it number 3 on your list?
Is it 1?
But there's a one. There's almost like an unsatisfying moment for me, like when she sees her husband like in the restaurant, and you find out something very drastic about what one of the characters has done, and she's like, "Oh, it was that person that did that thing." Interesting.
Like a throwaway line.
Yeah. But then like I kind of expected it to be more like when she like confronts him about it. Almost.
She has the bottle in her hand.
Is this John Hawk's mid-burger stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
She walks up with the bottle.
And like puts it there. I was expecting something a little more than that. Like that was kind of like the one scene where it's just like, you have this movie doing all these things, but then like in this moment, she holds back now.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, okay.
Maybe it's one of like those quieter character moments.
Yeah, where it's just like a moment of growth kind of thing. I don't know. But anyways,
I don't know about that growth thing. I wanted her to.
I want to bottle him in the face. Yeah. Like. But
done well with a bottle.
The 19-year-old like girlfriend was making me laugh. Like, so actually, I don't work at the zoo anymore. That due to like recent cutbacks, they had to let some of us go. So now I work at the place where they have the elephants for disabled kids. And she's just standing there. I'll be in the car, and she just leaves. So funny.
It's pretty good.
So funny. Yeah, it was a 5.
5 bang.
Yeah.
5 bang. If you haven't seen it, you're dumb. Go see it.
It's so good.
Fuck,
Adam, what do you got for us this week there, bud?
Top that.
Well,
you won't.
I won't.
Okay.
I did see a movie from 1982.
You're topping most of my last scenes.
Blade Runner?
I was like Blade Runner.
That's the only movie from 1982?
He's doing 5 bang of the year, but okay.
A hard-nosed cop reluctantly teams up with a wisecracking criminal temporarily paroled to him in order to track down a killer.
Lara Croft 2.
This is the one that they're remaking with
it is.
Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
This is Lara
Nick
Croft
Nolte
2.
and
It's not Tomb Raider. Lara
name?
Croft 2.
It's Tomb Raider 2.
Kevin Hart.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, yes.
Yes.
48 Hours.
Lethal Weapon.
How'd you see this?
Recorded off TV. It was playing
Really?
on some channel. Remember I was telling
Yeah,
you?
yeah. PJ.
Yes, sir.
Sick.
Directed by Walter Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do much else.
Sorry.
Starring Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy.
It's like don't talk there.
Couple shocking cameos. Well, not cameos, but like the villain's played by James Remar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Blew my mind. He's unrecognizable in
The
it.
dad from Dexter.
Oh shit.
Incredibly young in it. And the guy Mike from Breaking Bad, like the old hitman, Jonathan Banks.
Yeah.
Unrecognizable.
Jonathan Banks is in it.
Full head of like jet black hair.
What?
Unrecognizable. I was astonished. I was like, no,
Jonathan, no.
It's fine.
Jonathan, no.
Are you excited for the Good Time remake?
It's fine.
Yes. The
Is that
Safdies.
potential?
Yes, of course. It's actually came out before Lethal Weapon.
I'll say it's very Lethal Weapon-y.
A lot of people credit it as the quintessential sort of inspiration for like buddy cop movies. It's kind of seen as the first, or at least the one that popularized the genre. Eddie Murphy's first feature film.
Interesting.
Film debut. Yeah, very shocking. Had no idea. He was on SNL for 7 years before that.
Yeah, big comedian before that.
Yeah.
Right. He was the
When was
biggest
this? 82.
82. Started 75 on SNL.
Yeah.
And he was kind of.
Fun fact: single-handedly pulled SNL out of the dumps. It was almost a cancellation point.
I did read that in the trivia for this movie. And this was his big break into the movie industry. And then Delirious came out 1 year after, and he just like was skyrocketing.
When did Trading Places come out? I thought that was one of his first.
Like 84, 85.
Okay.
No idea.
He took off after
83, so it was like right after this movie.
Well, it's funny. In the sequel, another 48 Hours in 1990, 8 years later. Yeah. In the first one, Nick Nolte had like top billing.
Who? Sorry?
Nick Nolte?
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte. I know there's French. That's nice.
It's the French actor.
Yeah, Monsieur Nicole Nolte.
Monsieur Nick Nolte.
Nicolas Nolte.
He had top billing, but in the sequel, Eddie Murphy had top billing.
Naturally, yes.
Nick Nolte was.
It's probably in prison at that point.
No, it was good. It was played more straight than I expected. Have you guys seen it?
No.
It was played a lot more straight than I expected. Like, Eddie Murphy doesn't come in until, I want to say, at least half an hour in. It's only 96 minutes. So he's not in the first third. It's like typical. Yeah, Nick Nolte, like, is assigned to finding this cop killer and catching him. And so they go and they hear that this guy who's convicted right now in prison knows him. He goes and has to take him out for 48 hours. That's the deal they struck with the judge. You have this guy for 48 hours, and if he doesn't catch him, he's going back to jail. If he does catch him, we'll let him free. And
that's a nice deal.
Very nice deal. Eddie Murphy sings pretty much half of Roxanne by the Police when he's introduced. Like Nick Nolte's like checking into the prison and like walking down, being led in by the guards. The whole time you just hear someone singing Roxanne. I thought it was a girl. He's like full falsetto.
He's got a very
hilarious.
For like felt like 2 minutes of Roxanne. And Nick Nolte comes to his cell and he's just got like headphones on, just like blaring it. You don't have to say about it to the night. Just like going ham. And
that's great. That's a great intro.
Nolte just like snatches the headphones off him. He's like, hey. Still higher voice even back then.
Oh,
disgusting.
This was pre-accident, right?
Yeah, way very pre-accident.
I think you might be.
Yeah.
You're also thinking.
You might be thinking of Gary Busey.
Shit. Sorry, this is
Nick Nolte. Has Nick Nolte been in an accident?
Sorry, this is pre-drugs.
Yes.
Okay, pre-drugs in prison.
Current.
Okay.
Mid-drugs.
Okay, mid-drugs. Yeah, I was thinking Gary Busey.
Eddie Murphy. Very good in it.
Shit.
Really?
Yeah, just sort of like the perfect archetype of that, like slick, wise-talking kind of guy. Had a hilarious scene in like a hick cowboy bar where he like just beats up all these hicks. Just kind of an iconic. It's actually on the Film Vault's like top 5 racist characters or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Very like racy movie.
Yeah.
Nick Nolte is constantly just kind of berating him with racial slurs.
Wait. An early 80s movie is racist?
Yeah.
Shocker.
Weird. A couple N-bombs were hurled Eddie Murphy's way.
Was Eddie Murphy big in this? I think I remember him being like kind of
like large,
jacked in this.
Physically?
Yeah.
No. Not
Really?
really.
I'm thinking of it. I remember him coming out of prison in one movie. In one of them, he was like bigger.
You're probably thinking of like Tower
Wesley
Heist.
Snipes or something.
Not even Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Not even Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. It was just a solid.
It's Carl Weathers. Never mind.
I mean, it's right up your alley. I can't believe you haven't seen this. Definitely a sweaty flick.
Yeah?
It
It seems up my alley. But what's the tone of it? Is it comedic?
I'm really seeing
actiony.
Like the poster looks actiony, right? Actiony thriller.
It's actiony thriller. It's
With
not
a little
very,
bit of comedy sprinkled in.
Yeah, obviously Eddie Murphy provides like the comic relief here and there, but it's pretty sparse on like the comedy. It's a lot more of a serious sort of crime action film.
So let me ask you this: with that in mind, the tone and the movie, what do you think about the Safdie brothers remake?
And who's your dream cast?
Oof! I'll tell you,
Nick Nolte again.
Reprising. Yeah. Obviously, yes.
Gary
that's what
Busey.
I want it to be yet another 48 hours.
Just
like
Nick
the
Nolte
third
and-
film.
Another 48 hours.
Another one. I'll tell you
72
who's
hours.
not my dream cast.
Kevin Hart.
Yes. Kevin Hart is Eddie Murphy. As long as they don't do that, I don't.
That's
give
like
a
the
fuck what they
easy.
do.
That's the easy choice these days.
Yeah.
I like to see John Boyega.
Ooh,
That's not bad.
yes.
Like I could see him doing like I could see him like talking.
John Boyega and
Or have John Boyega
Patterson.
be the cop and have
Why not?
someone else
Who?
be the...
Patterson. Robert Patterson. And John Boyega.
Right. Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad.
Go super... Do
That could
you think the
work.
remake's going to be straight action thriller?
What if they do a continuation of Good Time and have
Good Time too.
Pattinson
Electric Boogaloo.
as,
I could...
as
Blackface.
what's his name?
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's character.
Yeah. I'm in.
Blackface.
And
Oh, no.
no, and then get like John Boyega to be the cop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
So switch the
yeah.
races.
I have no idea, but
Race swap? Who knows?
I don't know how much they'll even follow the original because it is like the generic template of buddy cop movie. But I'm just excited to see them do like a buddy cop movie. Or
I can see
another
them being-
movie.
I can
Or
see
their
this-
take on
Their take
Yeah.
on it.
I could see it being very...
Generic.
action thriller.
You sure?
Over the comedy, for sure, yeah.
I can see it
Yeah.
being very generic. Like it be like being like, oh, we're gonna do this. But
Remake?
then, yeah, the remake.
Have you seen Good Time?
Yeah. We reviewed it.
Yeah.
I mean, Good Time had a little bit of comedy in it for sure. Like,
Yeah.
Cringe
Almost
comedy.
Some
unintentional.
cringe comedy.
Yeah.
like different kind of comedy.
Yeah.
Not like but like
Oh.
ooh.
And there's some
Yeah.
There's some nice looking shots in it. Like there's a shootout at the end, the climax, and it's all done in these back alleys that are only lit by like neon signage of like Chinese restaurants and stuff,
Oh.
almost Blade Runner-esque.
It's called Oriental.
It's just like a steamy,
Move past
smoky. Yeah, I'm just tunnel vision.
Blinders on.
Yeah, just like the smoky alleyway and steamy alleyway with like the neon was
Demonetized.
beautiful. So I'm just thinking of Good Time directors like doing that, like visually. The Safdies.
Right on.
I'm in.
I'm going Heavy 3.
Yeah.
Very fine.
Yeah.
Very
Cool.
nice little cop movie.
Tyler.
Do you want to mute that?
Sorry.
I just got an Amazon
Scott.
review. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna jump in with my last scene. Don't even think about it. You see how I placed that pen? You see how I placed that pen?
Got him.
Listen to this plot synopsis. Don't look there.
I can't tell what it is. I'm sorry.
Listen to this plot synopsis, okay?
Yeah.
After developing an addiction to the substance he used to kill bugs, an exterminator accidentally kills his wife and becomes involved in a secret government plot being orchestrated by giant bugs in a port town in North Africa.
What the fuck did you
It's
watch?
a David Cronenberg film.
It
I was
is
gonna say sounds like a Cronenberg movie.
I have no
I
idea.
don't know the title.
Naked Lunch,
Yes.
starring
Not the movie you think it is.
Peter Weller,
Yeah.
Judy Davis, Ian Holm, Bill
Hey.
himself,
Ooh.
and Roy Scheider
Yes.
from Jaws.
I remember recently reading the synopsis and then
You're
reading
like,
the
what the
title of the
fuck?
film and being like, this is not what I thought this movie was about.
So, just to give you an idea, the title "Naked Lunch"
Yeah.
is actually it's more like a sort of I sort of equate it to this movie actually, Fear and Loathing,
Ooh, slice of life.
because it's about it's sort of the lead character Peter Weller sort of plays the author of the original book,
Interesting.
right? So he's on this trip, and he like goes to Africa. And he's like on drugs, and he sees all these hallucinations, and it's sort of about how he like wrote the book Naked Lunch kind of thing. So he's like writing this report the whole time, the character, and it's like his book or his novel or whatever called Naked Lunch. So that's whatever that means. I still don't know, but that's the title of the book.
What'd
It's a
you
naked
think?
lunch, man.
It's just a naked lunch.
Dive in. What'd you think?
I don't even know.
One of those, huh?
It's just incredible. Like one of the weirdest, most fucking bizarre trips I've
Like
ever witnessed.
Cronenberg just
Is this
didn't
black
hold
and white?
back.
No, it's not black and white.
I'm thinking of a different movie.
It's just,
I do that a lot.
it's almost like, you know, someone had a fever dream for a couple of years, like a drug hazed like fever
As
dream.
if Cronenberg had a fever dream.
Yeah, and kind of like wrote it down, like what was happening to them during this fever dream, and then they turned that into like a movie. Because like it doesn't really make sense. Like what's happening in this movie doesn't make sense. Like I can't put heads or tails together. Like I just can't make.
Did you do
any
any
sense of it.
rabbit hole diving and like looking at Reddit? or
Essays
anything?
and like theses.
That's what I do when I don't understand a movie.
I mean, I'm
instantly-
still just trying to grapple with it.
Yeah.
I haven't gone deep down the rabbit hole yet.
Ooh.
Just far enough that I know that, you know, it's about like the book itself. that he wrote, Naked Lunch, is a series of like vignettes, I guess, of like stories that he said you don't have to read in any particular order. And the film is similar to that. There's these weird sort of plot, tangents that it goes on, and you're sort of like, okay, how does this have to do with that other part? And it's sort of like there's these like bug like aliens that are sort of like there's handlers, and they're sort of telling him to do things.
You have me until then. I'm like,
No, I'm in now. Keep going.
Like for some reason, like it starts out fairly
I've
straight,
had this dream before.
and he's an exterminator, and he finds out that his wife is like using the like bug powder and turning into like she's like melting it and like injecting it as like a drug. Bug powder that uses like to kill cockroaches and stuff.
What year was this? This was
1991.
Okay, so this is after The Fly.
Yeah, like where's this in his career?
This is after Fly, pre-Crash. This is a weird Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Weirdest Cronenberg.
Arguably one of the weirdest.
Yeah.
I've seen a few Cronenberg.
Do you have this on Criterion?
I would assume so, yes.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna untape it.
No, I didn't want to do that again. That was too much.
Well, if you check the bottom of your seats,
Yeah,
You all get a copy.
you all gonna want a copy of it.
No.
$40 each.
It's so hard to quantify. It's just so weird. When there's the typewriter, he's like, there's this weird like beetle typewriter that's like bleeding and like talking to him at the same time, and it's got like on the back.
I had this dream before.
What's the back of a bug? It's like a thorax or something. Anyways,
Yeah,
the back part of the bug is like has this weird like mouth that looks like it literally looks like a butthole too. It's like this talking hairy butthole on the back of the beetle that's like telling him like what to do.
I'm gonna stop you. Have you seen this movie, or are you just making stuff up?
No, I've seen it.
Bullshit.
This is so bizarre.
It's fucked.
Can I borrow this?
And it's just like there's like he has the bug powder there, and it's telling him to like rub the powder on its like lips. And this is the weirdest thing ever.
Now, I assume being Cronenberg, there's some nice practical bug effects.
Oh, yeah, it's all practical.
Of course.
It's all
practical.
It's fucking weird.
It's gonna be creepy.
Shout out to Cronenberg.
How are Roy Schneider and Ian Holm?
Oh, Roy Scheider has one of the fucking
like a
most
cameo?
hilarious, bizarre moments. He plays Dr. Bader, I believe, is the character's name. But he plays this doctor who sort of has a small part in a big part plot-wise, I guess. Like he has a
small
influence, but he's not on screen very much. He sort of leads him. He realizes he's addicted to this bug powder. Once his wife takes it, and then he starts to use it, and then he gets like addicted, and then he's trying to figure out what to do about it. And someone recommends him this doctor, and then he tells him to mix this other powder in the bug powder that's made of like giant centipede insides.
I'm sorry that I asked.
I think this was Cronenberg's like done by design to get when someone's telling you about the movie to make you feel like you're tripping out. I feel like
Right.
No, I'm very confused.
I feel so like sedated.
I know.
This is
The origin of the powder. He like sends him to like this place called like Inner Zone, which is like in North Africa.
I feel like
in my mind,
this is gonna be like a whole new tangent.
And then he goes and sees where they're manufacturing the giant centipede powder, and they're like, there's these giant centipedes that they're like butchering. They're like bloody centipedes. It's like the most practical bloody centipedes that they're chopping up and like turning into like powder and shit.
Of course, yeah.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in.
It's fucking weird. And
how do you even rate this movie?
I don't know.
Because you're just like,
It's
I don't know what I
unrateable.
saw.
I don't.
Could be a 0, could be a 5.
Were you like enraptured the whole time?
I don't even know.
That's usually like an easy question.
I'm just like
the
whole time. I'm just like, what?
Like Tree of Life.
with Under the Skin.
I don't necessarily think is a good movie, but I was like in the whole time. It's like a 4.
Like you didn't check your watch.
But it's a very easy question. Someone like asked me, "Were you intrigued the whole time watching Tree of Life?" I'd be like, yes.
I was intrigued. The whole time because it keeps you on your toes.
Because you don't
I
know
have
what's happening
no
next.
idea what I'm going to see in the next scene. I literally have no idea what's going to pop up. You know.
I don't know what's more bizarre, your review of this or Tyler's top 10 movies of the year. It's just like
both. I almost
both are
blacked out.
equally mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm leaving out a big part of it. Like I'm talking about the
how is that possible?
The bug typewriter effect is
beetle?
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But there's this weird alien bug, like humanoid bug, that's like human size. That you guys might recognize the face of it, but it's
From
Parodies.
as who?
maybe, I don't know, because I saw it somewhere on like a poster, like a really graphic poster, just had that head on it.
You've like ruined me.
It's just the fucking weirdest thing ever. And
You've torn Tim down.
That is
there's this scene
Ty's
where
top 10.
they're like training. There's this weird bug humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole bunch of these bug humanoids like chained up, like hanging from the ceiling, and they're draining. There's this fluid that comes out of its head. There's these weird tubes that come out of its head, kind of like this.
Are you on drugs?
Like, like udders?
Kind of like, yeah. And it's sort of this sort of milky fluid that's like a drug, and they're all hanging upside down, and people are like sucking the fluid out of
I'm
their
so
head.
convinced that you did not watch a movie and you're just like explaining.
Yeah.
Guys, watch this movie and it will make perfect
You like
sense.
stolen one of my dream
It will make
journals
perfect
again, and
sense
you
what I'm
just read it
describing
on air.
here.
Do you think perhaps Last Jedi was a shout out for that?
That's what I was thinking with the milk.
Luke was
Could be, yeah. Well, that's from like an actual udder. This is like their head upside down
Oh my
out of the
God.
top of their head.
Scott, I have a very tantalizing question.
Yeah.
What are you gonna rate this?
Is this the first time you're never going to rate a movie?
It could be.
Like,
It's either 1 or 5.
yeah, there's no in between here.
Well, I would argue that it can only be in between.
It's a 2.5.
It's just a fucking question mark. Like, I give it a skin of 3 the first time I saw it because I was like, I don't know what I just saw.
I mean, I'd probably give it a heavy 3.
Yeah.
Because
You're intrigued.
I was very intrigued the whole time.
That
I was
counts.
on my
Well
toes.
made.
It was
Technically, was it
technically
one?
the effects were great. It was. I mean, it's hard to say that was it well directed because, I mean, it didn't like make sense.
Direction wise, maybe not great, but production
Yeah.
design.
Production, yeah.
The story
Pretty
was
cool.
told about-
You have me
a
like
little dated.
I'm very heavily.
I can kind of tell that
invested.
it was shot, in a studio, because there were very few exteriors.
Like
Exterior shots,
soundstagey?
yeah, well, soundstagey.
Yeah.
But like the interiors, you can tell you're like, okay, I can't see outside.
Yeah.
Or
It's
like
The
that
window
type
is just
of
kind of
light.
white.
or like, yeah, or like the window, like what's outside is like you can tell it's like a photo or something.
Yeah.
There's like a big giant photo like 10 feet out from the window, and you can kind of tell. I give it a heavy 3. Honestly, it's really hard to wrap my head around it. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah.
No, you made
No.
perfect
Let's move
sense.
on. Let's move on. It's fucking weird. David Cronenberg, check it out. Naked Lunch. Honestly, one of the most bizarre movies I've ever witnessed. I couldn't even say
You
that.
say you watched it.
I witnessed it.
You witnessed.
I witnessed it. We got some news topics this week,
Thank
guys.
God.
Rhett Reese, Matt Sazama
Sazma?
are writing
Yeah.
a
Phasma.
Clue remake starring Ryan Reynolds. Now, how many of you guys have seen the original Clue? Adam? What do you guys think of the original Clue?
As a hater of comedies, I love Clue.
Really?
I think it's hilarious. I think it's very clever.
I think it's fun. I think I've seen
and
it.
I think the multiple endings makes it.
Right.
Can you explain to me, as someone who hasn't seen it, how there's multiple
It's
endings?
like
So
the
depending on what
essential-
theater you went to, you got one of 3 endings.
They like mixed it up.
They mix it up,
There's 3 movies.
and
three
one
movies.
ending makes the most sense. The other 2 are kind of like, yeah,
This
okay, you
is
can see
more
it.
confusing than Naked Lunch.
Yeah. And the DVD has all 3 endings, with the first 2 that don't make quite as much sense played first, and then the last one that makes the most sense is played last.
So it plays one ending and then it like cuts back.
Yeah, and it shows
And
you
it
what
plays the second
could have
one.
happened, and then what could have happened.
And then it cuts back. Yeah.
One makes the most sense though. I'm in. I love Clue, the original. Watched it in grade 8. Thought it was hilarious. With Tim Curry. He's perfect in it. So if Ryan Reynolds plays like that same sort of character, like the
Do you think he would play the butler?
I think
Or
he played the butler
think he
character.
would-
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. I think if they can get a good like mixture of like actors to do this like I think you need some serious actors in this as well as not. Like, it can't be all straight comedians. You need to do like a few serious people.
You need to see people out of their element.
A few slapstick characters, like a few slapstick comedians. Like you need a good mixture of comedians to be in this.
Kind of like Murder on the Orient Express, but like
but like with a comedy undertone to it. Yeah,
I feel like that's why this got greenlit. Because that movie made so much money.
Yeah, it could be very, very good. Like I think the setup is like for a board game, it's the best setup because it's a murder mystery.
Yeah.
But it's a comedy, so it's great. And the original cast is great. And I think depending on people involved, I think it could be very, very good. Yeah.
Ty, what do you think of it?
Having just seen, I think you and I both
watched it this past year.
First time last year. Shout out to Steph who made us watch it.
Shout out.
She forced us to watch it, and I'm glad she did because I loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
Tim Curry explaining the murder is one of the funniest things on screen I think I've ever seen.
Run down the hall with the knife.
Run down the hall with the knife, and he's just like running down, and it just opens the door and he just falls down. Like it's hilarious. Like just so great. And so for them to redo this, I'm very excited. I hope that Ryan Reynolds does play the butler. I think he'd do pretty good at that. And then I think you're right. I think we need to see some people like
mixture, right?
Yeah, some people like out of their elements. Like you need some serious like to see like Ralph Fiennes or like even like Liam Neeson or something like that in this. I think that would be hilarious.
That'd be great. Yes.
Like that was just like who I thought of like right away. That would be
Johnny Depp.
I'm in.
John Gad.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell, Olivia Wilde.
Oh god, this could be a sweaty wet dream.
Yeah, Anna Kendrick.
Oh god, she directed.
Lea Seydoux. Who else? You got?
I'm out.
Lizzie Kaplan.
Yeah, you got Lizzie Kaplan.
Greg Kinnear.
Fucking love Greg Kinnear. Sophia Boutella, get her in there.
Why not?
Yeah,
it could be good.
Top it off with Robert Downey Jr. And that would be
Sean Connery.
He retired.
Robert Downey Jr. as Mr. Body.
Oh, that would be good.
Boom.
So I think he might be too powerful on screen, so that's why he'd be good as Mr. Body.
Right?
Yeah. Oh my God, guys, this is it. We just casted it. Let's make it happen.
So you're in.
I'm in. I could not be anymore. Have you just heard that cast? That's amazing.
Only,
Scott.
Scott.
It's in.
Okay.
I'm so in.
Adam, what are your thoughts? As someone who hasn't seen Clue, do you care?
No. In a word.
That's what I thought.
In a word, I don't care.
That's what I gleaned from that.
Now, are you perplexed that Ryan Reynolds is in two, like, detective-style movies this year?
Detective Pikachu.
And Clue.
I think, Tim, that's why he was chosen for Clue.
Yeah.
Because of
he's Pikachu. He plays Detective Pikachu, so he's perfect.
Detective Pika-Clue. That's what I would call it.
Just combine it.
The Year of Reynolds. Deadpool 2. Detective Pikachu. Clue. Cuckoo Kachu. Don't care.
Wow.
Maybe when I see the original, I'll be like hype. I think it's very weird that he's going to play the same role that Tim Curry played.
I mean, that's just us.
We're speculating.
Yeah,
it's not confirmed.
He could be Mr.
Like,
That's the big role.
If they confirmed one role already, would be probably the Tim Curry-esque role.
Yeah, because that's probably the most important role there is.
Is there a director attached?
Not that I know of. I think it's just there's a writing team together.
I feel like if you were gonna see the original, you'd have to see it either like after you've had a couple drinks, or you'd have to see it with like a bunch of a bunch of people who like
love it.
Are gonna love it.
Yeah, as a comedy hater, watch it with me.
Yeah,
you'll laugh because it's a very funny, clever movie.
Yeah, I feel like if you watched it by yourself, you would not like it.
Let's watch it on your wedding day.
That's it.
I feel like it could be kind of a throwaway like remake, kind of like Jumanji.
Something like
get that.
Yeah, it could be.
Like, I'm a little nervous.
Well, Jumanji's doing super. This is
looks like shit though.
It looks like shit,
good.
but apparently it's doing amazingly well.
Good reviews, like $1 billion global box office.
It's fucking crazy.
So we can't say shit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Jumanji, which I'm sure they would like,
or it could be Jumanji. Yeah.
But I mean,
take that as
Jumanji
a
quality.
Yeah.
Jumanji, yeah.
We did Jumanji.
Kevin
I'm a little scared. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
It could be bad.
Could be shit.
Don't care.
Let's move on. Let's talk about another sequel. Not a sequel.
Mm.
Why'd you call it a sequel?
I mean,
it's a sequel.
The first one is a sequel. This is a sequel.
Yes.
A sequel to The Shining is in development. Director Mike Flanagan is taking on Dr. Sleep.
What has Mike Flanagan done?
Ouija, the sequel.
That funny one that I laughed at?
Potentially.
Okay. There's one with the neck goes like...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I laughed at that one. That one was...
Allegedly very good.
He did Jerry's Game?
It looked ridiculous.
Yes, he did Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game.
Jerry's Game is the chess match. The chess match in front of A Bug's Life.
Did Oculus also allegedly very good?
Oculus and Jerry's Game.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking of like the cartoon guy
Gerald.
going like... I'm just like playing himself in chess.
That's Jerry's Game.
Yeah.
So it's a sequel to The Shining. The book, at least, is a sequel to The Shining.
Yes.
What's the name of the kid?
Jack Torrance.
Jack Torrance. All grown up, basically.
No, Jack Torrance is
Danny.
Danny Torrance.
Danny.
Sorry, Jack is Jack Nicholson.
So it's basically Danny as grown
Danny's
up.
grown up.
Let me just correct you on the movie I've never seen.
You've never seen The Shining?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like...
like, what? How have you not seen The Shining?
You realize you host a...
Like, this is okay if I haven't seen The Shining.
Yeah.
But
Unexpected.
yes, I have it on Blu-ray.
Can I borrow it?
Yes, you can borrow it.
Okay.
Why are we having this discussion right now?
The Shining.
It's not one of my favorite directors, favorite actor, combined into arguably the best horror film ever made.
So the book came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It's about Danny,
I read it.
grown up.
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
what are your thoughts about this? We got to go to you, the resident
Yes.
expert,
Yes.
if you
Stephen
will.
King, yes.
Yes, Stephen King.
Okay. Here's my thing. Stephen King did not like the Shining movie,
Interesting.
and this is a sequel to
Kubrick, shit. What is he?
The film or the book? Or
my question is it a sequel to the book or the film? Because the movie is the motivations behind a character are very different between the book and the movie, and those motivations deeply affect Danny Torrance.
I'm assuming you're talking about...
I'm talking about Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting to see how they tackle it. However, the actual story of Dr. Sleep is very weird. And I don't know how well it's going to play off in a movie. I will say that.
Give us some nuggets.
Yeah, give us... what are we looking
apparently
at?
what happened? What has happened is since his encounters at the Overlook Hotel, Danny has like put away all of his like demons and ghosts.
he's internalized.
Yes, he's internalized them and he's put them into a locker where they haven't really affected him that much.
Oh, that's going to explode on him later.
A mental level.
Now he's like a
watch out for
depressed adult. He's kind of a drinker and he works at this like old folks home. And they call him Dr. Sleep because almost like those cats you see in the news that know when like a patient's going to die.
Yeah.
He goes and visits people like just as they're dying.
Sounds cool.
And they get like comfort from him and stuff. Yeah.
That sounds pretty sweet.
And then there's also like this weird subplot with like these life-sucking vampires.
I'm out.
They're not vampires, but they live off
Leeches.
like they're leeches who like leech off
Mooches.
like death and despair and stuff.
Death eaters.
And they start showing up, and he's like battling
Dementors.
them. Yes, he's like battling them.
So it's a Harry Potter spin-off.
It gets very bizarre and very weird.
Now,
And compared to like The Shining, it gets very like actiony.
The Shining gets actiony, you mean?
No,
This
gets very actiony compared to like yeah.
I've
like,
never been so intrigued.
There's
by
a big
movies.
like dramatic actiony. I'm gonna say actiony like Stephen King's term of actiony at the end.
Is The Shining not played as it's ambiguous as to whether or not there's like supernatural things happening?
It's in
Or
the
is
book.
it
It's
just-
obvious what has
I
happened.
know it is in
yes.
the book, but the movie.
The movie's ambiguous.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like supposed to be like Jack Nicholson. Is he crazy or
Is he
these
not?
actual
Yes.
ghosts?
Or is he actually like
it's-
possessed?
Yeah, it seems like the sequel is very, very straight in your face supernatural.
Yeah, it's 100% supernatural. Yeah.
So I find that
The
weird.
Shining book is very supernatural as well.
Right. Yeah.
It's not ambiguous.
So like I'm thinking like, are they gonna just go full ghost supernatural.
Well, I mean, the director, Mike Flanagan, I mean, I haven't seen Gerald's Game, but I've heard that it's
Have you seen Jerry's Game?
I have.
Okay.
Gerald's Game is currently a very accurate representation of the novel.
Short story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's doing this.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a straight adaptation?
Yeah.
Of
Which
the book?
I think will be good.
Do we need to know that it's even a Shining sequel? Does that even matter?
No, it's very.
Or is it just
besides
you just have to know that his dad is whatever did these things?
You just need to know that Danny Torrance has the Shining, which is like an ability where he like can link minds and like feel people's like emotions and feelings and that type of thing, intentions.
So, I mean, as someone who hasn't read the novel or know anything about it, I have a feeling, but has seen The Shining.
Yeah.
What a fucking idiot!
I don't think they have to, because how do you follow Kubrick? Like,
that's the thing. You're gonna have to. I think this is my problem. I think this movie's gonna be pretty generic, like late 2000s horror movie vibe.
Like Flanagan, I'm sorry, bud. You know Kubrick.
No.
Like, so you can't really compete with that. And I don't know that you necessarily make it a sequel to the film.
But here's my problem: is like 90% of the world probably knows The Shining as a movie, not as a book.
Do they now in 2018?
Yes,
I think
that's
so.
the thing.
Yeah. I think most people today, when they hear The Shining, they think
just
of
here's Johnny,
Jack Nicholson in The Shining, not the book. The Shining.
Just sticking his head through the door.
Red,
Johnny.
Like they're aware of it from
just
I
pop culture.
seen it, and I know like everything that happens.
You know every beat of it.
Every beat.
Now, here's the thing, though. If this Mike Flanagan does direct this, don't laugh. You haven't seen The Shining. You don't get to laugh.
I'm laughing at you like he's unknown.
This Mike Flanagan.
This alleged
so-called
Michael Flanagan,
So-called
whoever the
Michael
fuck you are.
Untested.
If he was to direct a movie, he could get it to more. He could get it more accurate to what Spielberg, what Stephen King wants.
Yeah, I could see this being more accurate to the book than The Shining is.
So,
like on set.
arguably, it could turn out better than The Shining, based on what. Yeah, exactly. I know, like just because it's more what the writer had in mind.
Here's my thing.
It's sort of that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they necessarily have to
Compete.
follow The Shining. I think they could do their own thing and reference it tangentially.
Because The Shining is a very good book. And it's a very good movie. So if you follow either source material, I think you're good. Either way. My problem is I think most people just familiarize Shining with the movie over the book.
I think you have to kind of think of this as not necessarily a sequel. Like, it is a sequel. But, like, don't expect this to be, like...
Yeah. It's not a direct sequel, which I think, because it takes place literally...
It's not The Shining 2.
It's
30, 40 years later, so it's so far removed. I mean...
40 years later?
It's like 30, 40.
30.
I think it's 30 in the book, but...
He's like
30,
10 or something in the book.
John Cusack wants to play,
40
so it'd be like 40 something, yeah. Because the kid's like 8 or 9 in the movie, so he's probably like 40, 41.
Yeah.
So it takes place about 30 years later. So it's so far removed in most regards from the original story. There are some tie-ins and the climax.
What time did The Shining take place in?
The book was written in 70 something. I think the book was written in 76, and the movie was 81, 82.
Okay, and it's sort of set in that time period.
Yeah.
So then it's like early 2000s.
Yeah, it'd be like early 2000s. The book came out like 2012, 13, something like that.
Right.
Okay.
That's cool.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What do you think about this?
I'm in. I haven't seen the first one, obviously.
Don't say obviously, because it's not obvious.
It's obvious based on the last 10-minute conversation.
Kick the table. Yeah, I'm in. This Mike Flanagan character has a lot of good movies, allegedly.
The fuck is this guy coming to the table?
You've seen Gerald's Game, though.
Gerald's Game, good.
Good, very,
Solid thriller.
Pretty disgusting, yeah.
Gerald's Game, too?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
One of the scariest scenes.
Did like Gerald's Game quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Disgusting.
Terrifying.
Yeah, you guys keep saying that. How can that possibly... What's
It's
in
gross. It's real gross.
there? Fuck, man, I gotta see this movie.
All his movies are like critically acclaimed on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, all the shorts he's done.
I guess I'm in.
Sick.
Fuck it.
Let's move on. On a similar tone, we got a trailer for a little horror thriller.
Oh.
The
that's
Cured, starring Ellen Page.
It's about salami.
The best cured meats.
I'll be here all week trying the meal.
It's not cured.
This film is about. There's been a zombie outbreak.
Yeah.
And someone's found a cure
Yeah.
to turn zombies back into humans. Yeah. And they're reintegrating into society. Adam, let's start with you.
Shaun of the Dead 2.
What do you think of this? Do you like zombie movies? Are you into zombies?
Big zombie guy here. Love it. Can't get enough of it.
You're a big Z fan.
Big Z fan.
We don't use the Z word.
They call me the Z man.
Zoms, you love them?
28 Days Later. Five Bang.
Yeah.
Oof. Love it.
Yeah. 28 Weeks Later?
Very solid.
Yeah.
Don't not a 5, but very solid.
Dawn of the Dead. Snyder remake.
Very
not bad.
good.
Not bad. Not bad.
Shaun of the Dead.
Should be bad, but somehow not bad.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, Five Bang. Anyways,
Thank you.
this movie looks good. Ellen Page not been on the hottest of streaks lately.
Especially with the horror thriller.
Flatliners.
Yikes.
That's flatlining.
Flatlining her career.
Yeah, it looks very scary, very intense. A lot of zombie movies I find lately have been going more action. Like World War Z is like an action movie.
Yeah.
This reminded me of 28 Days Later. It looks very horror, very thriller, very suspenseful.
Looking closed a bit more, like a bit
Yeah.
tighter. Yeah.
Right. I don't know, just really well done trailer. Yeah, just looks good.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting take. I think zombies have been done. The whole Walking Dead phenomena has sort of taken over. So it's hard to do a straight zombie movie because like it's just Walking Dead or like Dawn of the Dead or whatever.
Right.
But I like that they have this different take on it. That there's these zombies that have been turned back into humans, and how do you cope with what they've done? Yeah. And are they really cured? Are they just carriers? No, I don't know. There's this interesting sort of factor, right, to their character interactions, and there's this other zombie character. Obviously, there's like the brother of Ellen Page who sort of moves in with her, and then there's like this other character who's like clearly was a zombie, and you wonder if like they have some connection or like. If there's some like conspiracy with the zombies, like want to take over again or something, the people that were zombies,
the ex-zombies.
Yeah, there's some weird political slant to it.
Agenda. They're just.
But honestly, it looks interesting. I'm color me intrigued. Color me intrigued. What do you guys think? Ty, Tim, Ty, Tim.
If I was a writer for Hollywood, I would be clever. You should call this movie 28 Weeks After.
Oh, that would have been good.
Because after the zombie apocalypse. Because
that's a little on the nose.
No, I'm saying if they want to call it an actual sequel, but yeah, I'm in. Like you never see this story in zombie movies. It's never been done. Like you see like pre-apocalypse,
pre-com, yeah, like before the zombies come.
You see during the apocalypse, but we haven't really seen a story that takes place like after the apocalypse. We're like,
usually there's a bleak tone. Usually it's like they never cure. There's never quite find the cure.
But like now we have like these people who are being cured who have spent the last few months probably eating brains and like
fucking murdering people.
Yeah, and now you get like this post-apocalypse story that's literally post-apocalypse, where like after the world has like crumbled and there's been literally zombies eating people.
I feel like the closest we get is I Am Legend.
The very end of I Am Legend.
Yeah. Like that's the closest I think we've seen to them getting to like the cure.
So when this trailer got posted in our chat, I was like, oh god,
zombie movie.
Ellen Page in a fucking zombie movie.
Gonna be rough.
I'm not gonna watch this trailer because there's no way we're actually reviewing it.
I was thinking it'd be like.
But you're intrigued.
But I'm intrigued. I think this looks good.
Yes. It seemed like it was like when I heard that, like when it was like Ellen Page zombie movie, I was thinking like, oh, I feel like it's gonna be like a Juno-esque kind of feel. It's gonna be
Warm Bodies or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh,
Warm Bodies is great.
Warm Bodies is good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Warm Bodies.
It's very good.
Okay.
You'd like it.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Thank God
I just feel like it was. Yeah, I did not expect that. I expect you guys to say it was shit.
No,
I was like,
good.
what?
Yeah.
It's like John Hughes zombie movie.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, that's awesome.
Weird. It's weird.
Are
you into that?
This I am in. This is kind of it's interesting. Like you said, we've never seen this kind of take before.
I feel like a writer whoever wrote this was like, Now, what would happen if they actually cured?
Yeah, we've done zombies
what would
a
be the
thousand
result?
times.
What would be
What
the
can we do
fallout
now?
of that?
The psychological issues that would come with that.
Oh, you're back, brother, but you also spent, in 6 months just eating people, so I don't really know how to deal with
What
that.
about the physical?
We're gonna have to try and rebuild this.
I mean, I watch you eat eat our mother, so I
Yeah,
I don't know.
things are definitely different, but we can still grow from this. I'm gonna make a little comparison here.
Okay.
It should be good.
I'm gonna compare this to to a movie that I quite enjoy that I think you guys would shit on had you given it the light of day.
It's like Mr. Right.
No, not Mr. Right. You guys saw that. It's kind of like it's kind of giving like the Lazarus Effect kind of feel, where you've gotten guys.
That movie that you reviewed and gave like a 2.
I think I gave it a little higher than that.
No.
Probably not.
3 ceiling.
Yeah.
It's just like she's got like that. It's like that questionable kind
Is
of
that
like.
page in that?
It's like a Flatliners kind of tone.
I'm out?
Maybe.
I'm out.
I'm out.
No, wait, no, what?
It's Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, but I think no. Was there another?
She's in Flatliners.
There's another girl. Yeah, I'm thinking Flatliners. It's
thinking
pretty much the
Flatliners.
same.
Yeah.
That's why my brain did it. I see how I got there. We're good. Never mind. I'm in.
God, wrap it up.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Upper Late Podcast, episode 130. Tim, where can people find us?
People can find us on Twitter at Upper Real Lates. You can also find me on Letterboxd at Upper Real Tim, and on Instagram at The Craft Pundit.
That's had some recent activity, I think, hasn't it?
Much.
Yes. They had a
Hashtag-
juice festival.
Hashtag ice wine, not all.
Hashtag the juice is loose. I'm going to say that till I die. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram at Up Real Late Podcast. You can also find me on Letterboxd at Up Real Tie.
You can find me on Twitter at Franny25 and Instagram and Letterboxd at UpRealAdam.
Find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UpRealScott. And yeah, guys, if you enjoy this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, keep it real.